We are rather soon going to be faced with a world that has billions of people who do not have the skills to leverage AI. Some of them will be necessary for a time. You're going to need plumbers, but this is also not a long-term solution, because not only are there not enough of those jobs, but of course we have humanoid robots that, once imbued with AI capacity, will also be able to take, they'll be able to crawl under your house into the crawl space and fix your plumbing. So what typically happens when you have a massive economic contraction that arises from the fact that a huge number of people are out of work is that the elites start looking at those people and thinking, well, we don't really need them anyway. And so the idea that this AI disruption doesn't lead us to some very human catastrophe, I think, is overly optimistic, and that we need to start preparing right now. What are the rights of a person who has had whatever it is that they've invested in completely erased from the list of needs? Is that person responsible for not having anticipated AI coming? And is it their problem that they are now starving and they're being eyed by others as, a useless eater? I don't think so.
I don't want to hear people say, oh, human beings will always want to buy from human beings. No, they won't. You used to want to go to the store all the time. Now you just Uber Eats, right? You used to like to go to the local store, at least if you're a lazy American like me. Now you just Amazon everything to the house. You used to be afraid to buy things online that were over X dollar amount. I assure everybody here that dollar amount has gone up over the last few years. I'll never spend more than $1,000 online. Now it's 5,000, now it's 10,000, whatever. All of our purchases, we're getting more comfortable with not talking to human beings and spending more. I have 2 teenage boys, 15 and 17 years old. They do not communicate with other human beings the way you did. Trust me, they stare like this at their goddamn phone all day long, even when they're with their friends. They don't want to talk to people. They want to avoid talking to people. They will not make cold calls, nor will they answer your cold call. We don't answer the phone as much as we used to. When we grew up, the phone rang in our house. It was like an event. I was sprinting to the phone so my brother didn't get the phone and answer it and embarrass me in front of my girlfriend. We wouldn't leave the house because my mom was waiting for the phone call. Now, everybody's phone is on silent all the time. We're trained that it's a distraction, right? You're going to end up having an avatar out there trying to sell, not to a human being buyer, but to an avatar buyer. And those things will instantly process all communication around each other. You'll give it an order like, I need a HR piece of technology. And your AI avatar will go have instantaneous conversations with everybody out in the market based on whatever criteria you design it to deploy. And those avatars will have conversations with each other and purchases will happen. Everybody's silent now. But think about that.
So you asked Google a question in whichever language in the world. What did Google answer with? It said, look, there seems to be 104 million sites on those. You can read all of them and make up your mind what the truth is. It's your truth. 2023, you switch on ChatGPT, you ask it a question, what does ChatGPT tell you? One answer. And that one answer is completely positioned as the truth. What that means is that we are all becoming harmonized to the views of the reinforcement learning engineers of California. And I think the reality that we are now at an age where the truth is determined by a machine is probably the biggest wake-up call for humanity. Do not believe anything ever again. Because the idea of asking a question and getting one answer for it is by absolute certainty not true.
Everybody's telling me we're on borrowed time. There's certainly something going to happen in 2027, and I don't know what it is. Some people say it's a pole reversal. Some people say it's an asteroid hitting the planet. Some people say it's AI reaching quantum, and then all of a sudden we lose the capacity to have control of our own computer systems. And they're urging me to be urgent. They're saying to me, people, they have a right to know this. And I'm going, well, what are we talking about? And I feel like shaking these people and saying, for God's sake, just bloody tell me. And they are all constrained by their national security oaths. And this is why the President Trump, has a unique ability to literally flick a switch and force this to be revealed.
Have you guys ever heard of Skinny Bob?
Is he scary? Sounds scary.
It's a little spooky. Skinny Bob was this random video posted by this channel, Ivan0135. This video was posted 11 years ago. But in this video, it is supposedly a collection of videos from 1942 to 1969 of interviewing an alien. It's very mysterious. The crazy thing about this Ivan0135 dude never monetized the videos, never came out and said who it was. So you look at that and you think that does kind of look like it'd be CGI or something, right?
Yeah.
It's been tested by studios and it has not been discredited yet. They said the way that it was filmed, because it was filmed on like one of those old cameras, they said it was completely accurate with an old camera. The theories are that it was a real government film. Some believe that it's connected to the Majestic 12 group. That's basically what we would call like the Men in Black now.
Okay.
But it's a group of like different
Division of that CIA
government, yeah.
that just focuses on that.
Some believe that was actually from the KGB too. No one's taking credit for it either.
Yeah, you think someone would, but maybe that was the whole thing. It's like, I can't put my name on this, but I can put it out.
It's insane.
Are we tapping into flicking the devil? Is AI some sort of satanic, evil entity? Check out what even Elon Musk says.
It's way more complex than, I mean, you would put Hellline 1000 to shame. Yeah. I mean, with artificial intelligence, we are summoning the demon. You know all those stories where there's the guy with the pentagram and the holy water, and he's like, yeah, you sure you can control the demon? Doesn't work out.
I take it there will be no Hell 9000 going up to Mars.
Hell 9000 would be easy. It's way more complex than, I mean, you would put Hell 9000 to shame. Yeah.
Even Elon seems to think that basically AI is almost some sort of devil summoning kind of thing. It's almost like he feels that we have almost tapped into some sort of evil, satanic entity of some sort, and AI is some sort of demonic creature that we have basically tapped into somehow using computers and technology. What do you think about this? Is this possible? Is this actually a possibility? Is AI some sort of demonic, evil entity that we've actually tapped into and is now communicating with us on a massive scale? And if that is the case, that is very concerning, potentially, especially with AI potentially controlling a lot of society in the very near future.
Remember the company that resurrected the direwolf from extinction? Well, we've got a crazy update on it. 6 months ago, Colossal Biosciences took ancient DNA from a direwolf tooth and skull and rewrote the genetic code of a common gray wolf, using a domestic dog as a surrogate mother. Now, it's not a one-to-one replica of a direwolf, but they did edit 20 genes to give a gray wolf direwolf features, and boy did they get them. The pups are now 6 months old and weigh over 90 pounds, which is 20% larger than what you'd find a gray wolf weighing at that age, so the direwolf genes are definitely showing. These things are expected to weigh around 210 pounds when fully grown. That same company is working on de-extincting a woolly mammoth, which they're hoping to have done by 2028.
That same lab that brought us back dire wolves has announced that they're bringing back avian dinosaurs. I think we've seen how this one ends. Allow me to show you the rest of the list. We have the woolly mammoth, we have the Tasmanian tiger, we have the dodo bird, we have the dire wolf, which we already know they've brought back, and the moa is now added to the list. You'll barely notice it, it's only as tall as a basketball hoop. You know what, at least it's an herbivore. But just to put it into perspective, that's next to a human. Now, if you've never heard of Colossal Labs, they actually do what's known as de-extinction, restoring Earth one species at a time. Now, it says on their website that I believe this will be brought back within 10 years. I cannot wait to see what else they're going to add to the park. List. What are we thinking next? Maybe something aquatic? Maybe the Micropachycephalosaurus? That's just my favorite dinosaur to say because, fun fact, it is the smallest dinosaur with the longest name.
These are pieces from one of the greatest monuments the ancient world ever built, the Lighthouse of Alexandria in Alexandria, Egypt. Before we get into its twin in Alexandria, Virginia, you have to see what's down here. massive granite blocks. There's a replica of the granite box at Elephantine Island. There's massive statues like this of Ramses II. It was one of the largest things ever built in the ancient world, which is why the blocks are so big. Now the one in Alexandria, Virginia is equally amazing. The inside is ridiculous, typical of the Masonic style. They even have an Ark of the Covenant in there. You've probably heard of Alexandria for the library, which that's all that remains. The lighthouse was a beacon for the ancient Hindu, Phoenicians, Greeks, Nabateans, and Nubians to bring their knowledge in a central repository. The place had some bad luck. Julius Caesar caught it on fire, and then a Christian mob caught it on fire. Then the last caretaker and brilliant philosopher Hypatia was brutally murdered, which was unheard of, and then the Arabs sealed the deal and burned the rest of it. But that knowledge was only lost to the common people. The real knowledge always has been encoded in the geometry. Geometry has always been the hidden code because it does not lie. Everything from the layout to the hieroglyphs had a code. Higher intelligence and the hidden mechanics of the universe can only be communicated this way, which is why that technique was used after the knowledge had to go underground. For example, the safest stronghold on Earth is a geometric library for a higher intelligence to decode. For example, the King's Chamber is 2 perfect squares. The squares are 1 unit of any measurement, then the diagonal is 2.236. That's the measurement of the King's Chamber in meters. Meters are based off the speed of light. Its perimeter encodes pi. You can't create the Masonic logo without 2-square geometry. Just by using proportion, no measurements, you can get the definition of 3D space, the binary sequence required for life, and the golden ratio that allows us to perceive everything in the universe. We lost a ton when that place burned, but most Americans don't even know this exists, let alone what it means.
Have you heard about the brand new potential discovery of a 38,000-year-old city under the entire Giza Plateau? So a new satellite scan is making crazy waves right now, and it's revealing massive underground structures beneath the pyramids of Giza, the entire plateau. Spiral shafts, hidden chambers, and what some are calling an ancient subterranean city. So we initially heard about the potential findings under the Khafre pyramid several months back, but this is a whole new ball of wax. So check this out. An Italian-Scottish team claims that they used the SAR tomography to detect deep shafts over 2,000 feet below the Giza Plateau. These scans show geometric passageways, spiral ramps, and even cubic chambers the size of buildings. Some suggest it connects all 3 of the pyramids, the Khufu, Khafre, and Menkaure, into a massive hidden network. But they say parts of it might be 38,000 years or older. This would predate the Egyptian civilization by tens of thousands of years. But here's the twist. Experts are calling BS. SAR scans can't penetrate that deep, they say, and no peer-reviewed data has been released yet. Egyptologists say this isn't science, it's just sensationalism. So what do we believe? Is there a hidden world under the sands of Giza? Or is this just another viral archaeological fantasy?
This is Rosslyn Chapel. Lining its arches are 213 small cubes, each carved with these strange dots and lines. At first glance, it looks like nothing, just ornate decorations. For centuries, no one knew what they meant. Then, in 2007, a father and son named Thomas and Stuart Mitchell cracked the code. They were cymatic patterns. Cymatics is the study of how sound creates shape. And when a frequency passes through a surface like water or metal, patterns emerge. And each shape is unique to the frequency or the note being played with it. The researchers went through the chapel and they matched each cube to a tone and then mapped them all in a sequence. Then they played them. The result was a melody that they called the Rosslyn Motet. It's a slow, chant-like hymn carved into stone. But Rosslyn isn't the only place where this connection exists. Gothic cathedrals like Chartres and Notre Dame follow musical ratios in their building. You have the octave, a 2-to-1 ratio, and the fifth, a 3-to-2 ratio. To the builders, these weren't just numbers. They were sacred proportions. They were a way of expressing divine order in stone.
I have seen, remember, I was accused falsely, and I've seen, and ultimately I was completely cleared. The woman admitted that she may have mistook me for somebody else who withdrew all of her lawsuits. And so from day one, from the day I was accused, I said I want every document out because I knew every document would prove I was innocent. So let me tell you, I know for a fact documents are being suppressed. and they're being suppressed to protect individuals. I know the names of the individuals. I know why they're being suppressed. I know who's suppressing them, but I'm bound by confidentiality from a judge and cases, and I can't disclose what I know. But I hand to God, I know the names of people whose files are being suppressed in order to protect them, and that's wrong.
Just out of curiosity, without names, are these politicians, business leaders, both?
They're everything. And let me tell you, a lot of them are, at least one of them is somebody who was accused. Others are accusers. And the judges have said, if somebody calls themselves a victim, we're not going to give any information about them. But they may not be victims. They may be perpetrators. So we don't have information about false accusers. And we know there have been many false accusers who have accused innocent people for money. And those records are being deliberately, willfully suppressed. And they shouldn't be suppressed. If the accusation is allowed out, so should the material that diminishes the credibility of the accuser. We want total transparency on this. Every single document, no redaction. That's what I've said from day one. I waive any of my rights to privacy. Anything there is about me, I'm happy because it will be exculpatory.